Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to the newest episode of Tusk and Tradition. Hoping you're able to spend this season with some family, some close friends, whatever you can get around with. But Thanksgiving also means Iron Bowl week. Really big one this week. Sorry if I sound a little sick. I'm a little congested. Sick, cold weather also means Iron Bowl. I'm just kidding. But, big one on Saturday. I feel like a lot of this outside talk and noise can be put to bed with just a win on Saturday. Before, though, we get into that kind of game, a few, social media rumors going around. I don't know how much traction they've got, but someone I've seen that Penn State's top man is Kalen DeBoer. And, if things go not our way this weekend, it might, you never know what's going to happen. But that's just crazy talk, what I'm seeing on social media. They are just rumors on social media. I don't personally believe that's going to happen. I think even if things don't go our way on Saturday, he's safe after year two. But we'll see how everything goes. Some cool little history nuggets, things that might happen on Saturday, hopefully, fingers crossed, is that if Kalen DeBoer and Alabama can find a way to win, it will be the first Alabama head coach to ever win back-to-back first year's Iron Bowl games. I said that so wrong. But he'll be the first Alabama coach to win his first two Iron Bowls. So that's pretty impressive. And also, with a win on Saturday, he will tie Nick Saban at 19 for most wins in the first two seasons as Alabama's head coach. So a lot to take into. Now, the team Nick Saban inherited in 2007 and the team that Kalen DeBoer inherited last year, state of the program is a little bit different. But nonetheless, it's still a pretty cool stat to look at and think about. Getting to the game in Auburn right now, I think we opened as a 5.5, might be 6-point favorite right now. Definitely favoring us to win this game, as we should if you look at the talent aspect of the game. Now, where everything gets scary is just that it is Jordan-Hare, it is Auburn, it's going to be a night game. They have virtually nothing to play for besides to ruin our season and go to the Birmingham Biscuit Bowl, 6-6. So, that's kind of where we're at with this game. That's what scares me the most, that they have nothing to lose and we have everything to lose. You like to think if you're an Alabama fan, Alabama team with a win this weekend, barring, catastrophic results next week in Atlanta, you're going to be in. So it's just kind of a win and you're in. And there are some outlying factors that we'll get in next week after a post-Iron Bowl win. But that's kind of where you're at. So you just go into this, take care of business, and you'll find yourself in Atlanta, still playing for what we want to play for. But yeah, the individual matchups in this game, we should be able to really attack them vertically down the field in the passing game. Yeah, Ty should have a field day. I mean, this defense, I think, was 99 or 100th in yards allowed through the pass. So, this is a game for Ryan Williams, Jerry Bernard, Josh Cuevas finally getting a week. A lot of these guys took, got extra week to heal up. So this is a game where we can, vertically attack with them. Hopefully, we can attack off play action, which means that our run game is being effective. Auburn's defense is not as good as Oklahoma's with the talent roster, but very similar style of scheme of how they can win this game. Oklahoma was able to just have 4 up there and stop the run, and then we couldn't really pass with the extra guys in the secondary. So Auburn is definitely going to look at that and try to replicate it. We haven't been able to run the football all year. I don't really see anything changing. We might have found something with Kevin. He runs downhill a little faster. Hopefully we rushed for like 260 yards versus a directional school, Northern Illinois, or Eastern Illinois. So take that with a grain of salt, how well we did last week and how now where we're at now. But hopefully some of that does carry over to the Iron Bowl and we can run the ball effectively, and that will open up downfield shots, which I think we can really take advantage of. On the flip side, they have a quarterback, whoever it's going to be. I really don't quite know right now. Whoever it's going to be on Saturday, either it's, a guy who's already beat Alabama last year and he was at Oklahoma, or Deuce Knight, or whoever they're going to run out there. They all have the capability to be able to give an Alabama defense fits, being a little more mobile, being able to make plays on the run, on his feet, and just you look at who's beaten us this year and who's beaten us in the past, even to Nick Saban days. It's always been a mobile quarterback. So they have that aspect of it. They've got in Cam Coleman, who's going to be really good. It's kind of the same thing. Can we stop the run with enough guys to not have to bring an extra man, not have to roll, Bray Hubbard down in run support. Can we do the same kind of thing they're going to try to do to us, what Oklahoma did to us? So that will be a big factor in the game to watch if we can kind of control that, manage that. Because if we can do that, we'll have success. Their defense, though, it's pretty high up there. There's a big gap to Oklahoma, but they're top 5. Yards allowed and all that kind of stuff, and that's just like I misspoke when I was doing the pregame on Oklahoma because I said their strength is stopping the run and we can't run, so what does it even matter? And that was the incorrect pregame analysis because they were so effective at stopping the run, they had to do nothing extra to stop the run. And so, in turn, they were able to, put more emphasis on stopping the pass and stopping where we had an advantage. And, what happened in that game. Yeah. That's kind of the worst-case scenario what happens this week. Because, I think if we take care of the football, we make the plays, we make kicks, this is a game we should win. Now, when you don't make the plays, when you turn the ball over, when you miss kicks, when you have uncharacteristic mistakes, that's when this Iron Bowl, Jordan Hare, weird magic voodoo stuff starts to happen. So if we go in there and we can just score off the bat, take the air out of that stadium, and then we get a stop and go and score again. You look up 14-0 in the first quarter. I mean, how much weird stuff can happen when you're down 2-3 scores? So that's kind of my key to that. Start the game off strong. I mean, I always laugh when someone says that because it's always everyone's key wants to start the game strong, but in terms of this game, it's going to be a little bit more important because we want to take away the weird crowd factor playing at Auburn. I laugh because it's comical, but it's true. Just look at what's happened there in the past 2 visits there and what happened about 12 years ago with Kick 6. So it's a place where weird things happen. But like I said, if we can be smart, Ty's done a great job all year, besides one game where he take care of the football. And in that one game, they sped him up. And he made mistakes. Auburn's going to look at the blueprint of what Oklahoma's defense did to us, and they're going to try to replicate it. They're going to try to speed him up. They're going to try to force him into making mistakes. Now, if we can run the football and we can kind of take some pressure off of Ty, the more the better. I think a lot in that game. I don't want to say that the pressure got to Ty, but we just put so much on his shoulders, and then when we had some mistakes and some cracks that kind of happened, the game ended up not going our way. Now, we'll see how Ty can handle this game if things in the run game have not improved. I like our odds to find a way to win with our DNA, our characteristics more than Auburn's. But it's been 6 years, or it's going to be 6 years this Saturday since they beat us. Some of y'all may know this, may not know this, that in the mid-thousands they beat us 6 years in a row, and their coach, pretty sure it was Tommy Tuberville, hit one of these as he walked off the field, and I hope Kalen DeBoer, walks off the field on Saturday with a win and just looks up to the Auburn crowd and does one of these. Now, will he? No. But that would be pretty cool. That's what's kind of going on in this game. I like us. to take care of the football, score points, and then do enough. I think it's going to be a close game, just the nature of this rivalry, the Iron Bowl. Auburn's had such a poor season. Firing their coach, having this quarterback that never really worked out, that they had a lot more promise for. We heard all offseason how this was the best receiving core in all of college football, and then you got a guy can't get it to them, and a lot of tough breaks, bad losses. One score ways. There's some refs that played some crucial role in the beginning of their game. So take all that and put it in a bottle, and that bottle can be just shattered against a wall on Saturday with a win for Auburn. So I think that's why you're going to see a high-level effort from them. I mean, they can at least save the end of their season with a win. It's going to propel them into their bowl season if they get a win into next year. So that's what they're really going to be banking on. And, so I think we got to go in there and beat it out of them from the beginning. Have a good drives, take care of the football, be smart. But your team's got to be sound. On defense, like I said, they have a mobile quarterback. They're going to try to take shots so they don't fall for the eye candy. Don't let them to lure you to sleep with running the game. We bring lower. Every run over and over, we bring Bray up, and then bang, they're going downfield, deep shot to Cam Coleman. So I know just play our games. Read your keys, be sound up front on offense, defense. I think we'll be okay. If talking scores, I like. I said it was about 5.5, 6. I like us by a touchdown. I go back and forth about scoring. It might be a little bit of a higher scoring. It might not be. I like 24-17. I like it being a 4-quarter game, but I like us being at the end to 1 ahead. So that's this weekend, the Iron Bowl. I'm picking us, obviously, because I think we are the better team up front as long as we can control the weirdness that happens. There's a great photo going around right now on social media where, like, it's Jordan Hare at night, and it's, like, weirdly foggy and lit up in red. And everyone's like, what are they doing? What potion are they doing right now for Saturday? So it's all fun and games until something insanely weird happens on Saturday. It's not fun and games anymore. But we'll see. I like us. That's gonna wrap up right there the pregame what I got for the Iron Bowl. I'm gonna talk a little bit like a few minutes on basketball. Tough loss in the Players Era tournament on Monday versus a really good Gonzaga team. So that's unfortunate. I was at work during the game, so I didn't get to watch the whole game, but it just seemed like a game of runs where they would go on a run, we'd go on a run, and then they'd go on a bigger run that we just never come back from. Ended up losing by 10. I think it was 95-85. Our shooters didn't shoot that best. I think Aiden Hall had one of his poorer games because he's been so fantastic this year. Even last night against UNLV, we scored 115 and won the second round of the Players Tournament. So these guys have been really good. So didn't have our best night on there. We're playing tonight at midnight. These games are late. We played last night at 11, game into round 1. My roommate stayed up and watched it. I'm sure we'll do the same tonight. We're playing Maryland tonight. No, I don't know too much about them. I know we're favored big. That's all I know, really, to be honest, with the game tonight. But yeah, the UNLV was a game we expected to win. Go in there, win the game, shot the ball really well, played good defense. Monday night, Gonzaga played really good defense. And so, yeah, we're going to wrap up tonight, the Players Era tournament. All in all, we're playing really good competition. Right now, we're 4-2, 2 really high-quality losses. These games prepare you more for what we're going to see in the SEC play and then postseason. So I'm okay with it. It's hard to look at schedule because, a lot of these teams schedule, directional schools like I talked about, like Eastern Illinois, Northern Illinois, and they're go undefeated in non-conference play, and then they get their conference play and they don't win more than 4 games. So, yeah, it's hard to read too much into what other people have records and what they're going to be. But that's kind of Alabama basketball now. Like I said, I'll start talking more kind of about them as football becomes a little more, wind down. We're having a little bowl break, hopefully waiting for the playoffs, and basketball will be kind of hitting their stride. So I'll get more into talking about that, but I still want to keep it talking about it just a little bit, kind of keep that fresh on the show. So that's kind of wrapping up this week in Alabama sports. Hopefully after the win on Saturday, we'll get into next week about championship weekend, who we got, who we don't got. Right now, the scenarios, most likely, I think everyone who's alive is Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss. Now, what's the most likely is probably a combination of Texas A&M, Alabama, or Georgia. Ole Miss is alive. There's a few things that got to happen. For Texas A&M to win, if they win, they are in. If we win, we are in, so that'd be the matchup. If one of us loses, then Georgia will slide in. So, and right now, I think the Texas is the favorite over Texas A&M, so that could be interesting with Georgia. We'll get into that if it does happen, but that would be SC is a game. Wow, when it's Alabama and Georgia, that's two heavyweight fighters. But don't get ahead of ourselves. We gotta keep going this week and win. Then we talk about all the fun scenarios next week. But wrap it up for today. Hope you enjoy Thanksgiving with your family, loved ones, and friends, and be safe and have good holidays. And we'll talk next week and Roll Tide.